Hello, this is Pierre Ethier, Class 12. Today the 17th of July, and we are in the city of Kirkenes. Kirkenes is in northern Norway, only 5 miles from the Russian border. SONOTS completions were done quite successfully during the 1980s. I know very well because I was myself the prime auditor for many years on the SONOTS completion line. Between 1985 and 1990, I did possibly more than 400 SONOTS EP checks. This is the final action that is done to verify someone has reached fully and honestly the EP of SONOTS. I've done it on many people, including some celebrities, Karen Black, Amanda Ambrose, Bobby Lyons, many others, too many to count. The SONOTS completion check was designed by Ron Hubbard and was a simple action. It consisted of about 15 questions or so to ensure that the person was clean both ethically and case-wise, followed by a second session that was a special form of rehabilitation. It required expertise to not overrun the EP, and this is why, because I seem to have been more able than other auditors, that I was given the task to do this, because it has a confidential EP, and the other auditors before me seem to have flubbed it, which resulted in the person having doubts at the attest. So I did all of those checks, and it was a rather straightforward A to B action. Because Scientology, which purports to be the study of truth and of life and of knowledge, if it is truly what it claims to be, then it should be simple. And the truth should be simple. And this was a check that was simple. And just about everyone was extremely happy with it. As I say to people after I finish a second session, these people did not walk to the examiner. They floated to the examiner. Subsequently, after the golden age of tech, which makes robots out of auditors, the church designed a new form of the EP check. As usual, complex, complicated, with many steps to invalidate the case, and even with squirreling added to it. And of course, they'll claim that I'm the squirrel because they say, aha, he did 400 of SONOTS completion checks. Where are those people? Well, I'd like to believe that I've brought and helped those people to achieve enough self-determinism that they were aware enough when the church became a trap as far as they were concerned, and to stay away from it. So if I helped them achieve that level, then I'm glad I did. Now, to go back to what the church calls now the SONOTS completion check. Whereas the original SONOTS completion check had perhaps 15 questions to it, now we are well over 100 questions. It typically takes one intensive or two instead of 15 minutes to get through it, which is of course very financially rewarding for the church. Of course, these people have had those questions done on them a dozen times. Are you hiding anything? Are you falsifying worksheets? Do you have any withdrawals from the CS? Do you have any disagreements with Miscavige? I mean, this is the heavy one there. Then they are expected to do the session to the purported EP of SONOTS on video. But they found that people could not do it, so they found a new unusual way of doing it. People are told to do a session without doing any admin of the session. So in other words, the video is the only record of the session. So there are 5 buttons to check, and now they're doing it without admin. They're doing it verbally instead of conceptually, and the church called that standard tech. Well, find me a reference, one reference by Hubbard where it says it's okay for someone to go in session and not keep admin. Yet the church calls squirrels auditors who audit without pass folders that the church won't release. Incidentally, there are plenty of references by L.RON Hubbard that say it's okay to audit without folders if they're not available. So for a squirrel to say that it's wrong to audit without folders when you recommend to do admin without keeping worksheets, it's worse than the pot calling the kettle black. Now the person has said they're completed with soul nots. You've done a sec check on them because you're essentially calling them a liar to ensure they're clean. So now, of course, you don't take their word that they're clean. You don't even believe standard tech because the video showed that they had the EP. So what you do? Of course, correction lists. If the guy is flying, you do repair. Of course, that's the obvious thing that RTC say. Because you see, the bulletin, don't make trouble for the PC, CS43, is of course, according to Miscavige, a piece of garbage from Hubbard. You don't believe it? Put him on the meter and ask him about L.RON Hubbard. You might see a rock slam. Then, after that, after a person has done the several times the correction list, they go over the button and they try to get them to FN. Of course, they must have that new FN definition of 2 wiggles on each side, 2 swings without wiggles. And they even take a measuring tape. That perhaps I'm exaggerating, but they're bound to use a measuring tape to be sure that the FN is enough long, enough big to be acceptable. Of course, it's based on no bulletin by Hubbard, but of course it's based on a bulletin by Miscavige, who's incidentally is rewriting the tech volume so that it will be seen as the final word. So this is what happens with soul nots completion. So people attest to soul nots, and of course the EP of soul nots is no longer what it used to be, but it is a pledge allegiance to the church forever, because the sole purpose that they've revised all of those points concerning attest is that they want to ensure that they have the allegiance of people forever. And of course the allegiance should be to the church and to Miscavige, and definitely not to common sense. Well, this is all for today. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Thank you.